It's where Christianity and culture meet. This is the intersection of faith and Maine. Now, here's Greg Chandler.
We have no idea who King Lemuel was or when he reigned. And as far as we know, none of his words were ever recorded and passed down. Yet there was one thing that we do know. He had a very wise mother. As the book of Proverbs comes to its conclusion, the wise words of this wise mother are recorded as she advises her son on how to be an effective ruler. Near the end of her short speech, she admonishes, "Open your mouth for the speechless, in the cause of all who are appointed to die." While she likely was not specifically referring to the unborn, her words speak volumes to those who believe that every life begins at conception and every life is precious. Welcome to the intersection of faith and Maine, and thank you for listening. As we stand here at the intersection, King Lemuel's mother asks an important question to those who love life and seek to protect the rights of the unborn. Are we opening our mouths for the speechless who are potentially appointed to die? Our last episode explored both the political and religious history of abortion in the United States. If you've not had a chance to listen to that episode, I would encourage you to do so now and then return to this one. As we discussed in the last episode, the Supreme Court's Dobbs versus Jackson ruling heartened those who opposed abortion, but provided a challenge in determining whether one is truly pro-life or is simply anti-abortion. As the reality of the court's decision makes abortion access more restrictive to protect the lives of the unborn, the consequence will be more children born into troubled circumstances. Because of this, those who fought to protect them before birth must continue the fight for them afterward. It will be at this point that a Christian will demonstrate if he or she is more than anti-abortion. It will be through action that a Christian will prove to be pro-life. It may be that you've never really considered there to be a difference between these two designations, but hopefully all of us will come to understand and accept that supporting life requires action. What, though, are the actions that can be taken to truly prove oneself to be pro-life? While it is certainly the case that action is required, let's make sure we also understand the important place of our words. By turning abortion into a political topic, it is easy to overlook that every pregnancy is going to impact a baby, a woman, and a man. In all likelihood, it will impact many more than these, as family and friends are considered. This is a deeply personal situation, yet one that cries out for wise and loving influences to provide guidance and direction. The Apostle Paul certainly understood this. As he instructed Titus on what to preach, Paul wrote, "Older women, likewise, are to be reverent in behavior, not slanderers or slaves to much wine. They are to teach what is good, and so train the young women to love their husbands and children." This latter phrase seems strange to modern ears, as we often think that a mother's love for her children is inborn. To an extent, it is. Often calling them mama bears, most mothers will protect children at all cost. Paul, however, is talking about a love that sets a child on the right path, a love that teaches children how to become God-fearing, human-loving adults. In this, older women have much to offer, so it is important to note that this facet of love is something that is taught and is to be taught by those who themselves have learned it through years of experience. The front line in the pro-life movement should be godly mothers who teach their daughters to value chastity while unmarried and faithfulness to spouse when married. Mothers must realize that Main Street is not terribly concerned about young women learning these things. Such an attitude, encouraged by Paul, is often treated as backward and misogynistic in modern culture. However, this should not be a deterrent. In the same passage, Paul instructed older men to be dignified, self-controlled, sound in faith, in love, and in steadfastness. Fathers must never think they have no role to play in the pro-life movement. The example that they set for their sons, the teaching of how to become a godly man, and their stress on being a good husband and father is essential. For the past few decades, American culture has shown disregard for fatherhood. In fact, his name does not even have to appear on a child's birth certificate. Television programming throughout these decades has often presented the father as either absent or as a buffoon who must be straightened out by his wife and children. This is certainly not God's man. The man of God sees the influence he can have on his son and seeks to exert it in a positive manner. Now, certainly, mothers also help their sons and fathers help their daughters to be godly. Working together, the godly couple seeks to train a new generation to love life. The godly instruction of older Christians need not stop with their own children. Within churches, as well as communities at large, there are numerous young women and men who need guidance. This requires the older to build relationships with the younger generation that will create an environment of respect and willingness to listen. Older Christians should look within their extended families, their church family, and opportunities within the community to assertively seek out these opportunities to teach the value of life and how to love life and support a family. Together, older men and women show a younger generation that any child, expected or unexpected, is certainly a gift from God. Now, while talk is good and extremely important, there are times also when the rubber must meet the road. Since this podcaster lives in Alabama, we'll consider the present need in this state. According to the Alabama Department of Human Resources website, there are near 6,000 children in the foster system, with just under 2,400 homes willing to take in foster children. If you live in another state, it is likely that the same situation is present. Children in need of temporary homes, but not enough homes to take them in. Fostering children from troubled homes is another way of showing oneself to be pro-life. Both state and private agencies struggle to find enough homes to lovingly protect innocent children who are victims of these troubled homes. Facing neglect, violence, or parental incompetence, these children need caring adults who are pro-life, life-loving heroes. May God bless all of those who faithfully take on this life-changing work. Not every Christian is able to take in these children in this important role. Sometimes life events, care for others, or a host of other factors might prevent participating in this tremendous work. However, while not every Christian will be in a situation where fostering can occur, every Christian can be a champion of those families who do participate in this noble and godly work. Always be aware of your words when talking with foster families. Phrases such as, "Oh, I could never do that," or "I would just get too close to the children to let them go," must be replaced. Things such as, "Thank you for your good example," or "Let me come over and help you with the kids," are statements that need to be said. Adoption is one of the grandest demonstrations of being pro-life. In this great display of love for a child, God is imitated. As Paul wrote to the Ephesians, listen to the grand words he stated concerning God and our salvation. He wrote, "He predestined us for adoption as sons through Jesus Christ, according to the purpose of His will. For any who will come to Him, God says that I want you in my family." In a small but godly way, couples willing to adopt children in need imitate their Heavenly Father. Those statistics are a bit difficult to ascertain, Most agencies that track adoptions report that there are somewhere between 110 to 120,000 children in the United States alone eligible for adoption. The number of orphans worldwide is staggering. Again, while precise statistics are difficult to ascertain, there are likely as many as 150 million orphans in need of homes. These children are helped one home at a time when selfless souls gladly and willingly welcome them into their love. This is one of the greatest and most long-lasting gifts that can be given. What, though, if I am unable to foster children or to adopt children into my family? Does this mean that I am not on the front lines of loving life? Certainly not. However, it does mean that finding alternate ways to help is essential. For most Christians in first world countries, financial support for pro-life causes can be a reality. Sometimes this can be directed to organizations who are in the business of helping connect children in need with those willing and wanting to help. Both national and regional organizations can provide avenues for this good use of funds. For certain, this is not the only way. There are also organizations dedicating to letting a mother see an ultrasound of her unborn child. Through the advancements of technology, a mother can easily see that life is present within her. Though it may be a challenge, these mothers may choose to allow this little human to make his or her way into the world. Another way to help is to financially support a fostering or adoption agency with the supplies needed for these families who take in children. These agencies often operate on a shoestring budget with help from loving supporters always appreciated. It might also be helping an individual family who fosters. Though these families often receive a stipend, it is rarely sufficient to properly care for a child. A loving gift can make this effort easier. Help can be given by financially supporting adoptions when good families cannot meet the financial burden that comes with adopting a child. There are likely many avenues that I have not mentioned, but these should show us that everyone can for certain put their money where their mouth is in supporting life. Paul instructed the rich to do good and to be rich in good works, to be generous and ready to share, thus storing up treasure for themselves as a good foundation for the future, so that they may take hold of that which is truly life. What better way can be found than to use some of one's blessings to help provide an environment where a child can flourish spiritually? When we consider how many children need help, it can seem overwhelming. When traveling to developing countries or seeing footage from such areas that show the number of children in poverty can also overwhelm us. It is at times like this that Christians should remember success comes by helping one child at a time. It is remembering that one way pure and undefiled religion is demonstrated is by visiting orphans in their affliction. For the next several episodes, we will hear from some who are on the front lines in showing what it means to support life. These are not politicians, celebrities, or authors. They are people from everyday walks of life who have taken the challenge to make a difference in the lives of children, as well as those who have benefited from such efforts. It is hoped that their stories will inspire others to make a difference in this cultural moment when such actions are also vitally needed. With prayer and action, this may be the moment for you to also make the difference in the life of a child. This is Greg Chandler coming to you from the intersection of Faith and Main.
Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and visit our website at faithandmainpodcast.com.